You're watching Ticket TV. Like, share, and subscribe on your way in.
All right, you guys. So we gotta get right into this video and talk about this situation with Hugh Hefner, man. And it is pretty much over with for this cat, in my opinion, because what just happened, man, this is bad news, bro. Bad news. Now, Hugh Hefner, for the most part, have, been able to do whatever he was doing in the Playboy Mansion and, it not really be no smoke around his way. But now it seems like he getting all the smoke because what's going on is, you guys, is his widow has come out now. Hugh Hefner's widow has come out, and she is demanding. And this is crazy because Gloria Allred, she's usually a lawyer who's acting like she's fighting for justice and to make sure that everything is exposed. But Gloria Allred is representing uh, the widow of Hugh Hefner. Now, Hugh Hefner's widow has come out. Her name is Crystal Hefner, right? She's 39 years old, right? She's the widow of Hugh, who died back in September of 2017 at age 91 years old. Now, she had came out and publicly, sounded the alarms about the potential release of his extensive private scrapbooks and personal diary. Now, y'all know we around the Epstein time, so this thing is getting real funky that she's coming out now and she's basically trying to block any release of his private scrapbooks and personal diary. Now, the reason she gave behind this are diabolical. Now, she held a press conference in LA with the lawyer I told y'all about, Gloria Allred, to announce that she had filed a former regulatory complaint in complaints with the Attorney General of California, Rob Bonta, in Illinois, Kwame Raoul. And y'all smash the like button as y'all come on here because y'all don't want to miss this. And the complaints seek investigations into Hugh M. Hefner's foundation's stewardship of the materials and aim, according to her words, to prevent any distribution, dignitization, sale, or public access to his private diaries and photos. Now get this, y'all. The foundation allegedly possesses 3,000 personal scrapbooks that was compiled by Hugh Hefner starting in the 1960s, spanning decades. Now these contain thousands of nude and sexually explicit images of women, including the widow herself, taken before, during, and after sexual encounters at the Playboy Mansion and elsewhere. But get this ain't it yet. This is going to get crazy. Now, these are described as deeply intimate and private, not personally shot or published Playboy magazine images. Now, Hugh Hefner's personal diary and journal, sometimes called his sex diary, includes the names of women that he slept with, detailed notes describing the sexual acts that were performed. And in some instances, he was tracking these women's menstrual cycles. Now, the diary was reportedly removed from the Playboy Mansion right after Hefner died in 2017 and placed in a sealed box. Now, Crystal has stated that she has received no clear answer from the foundation about its current whereabouts. Now, listen to this, y'all, because this is going to get diabolical because nobody talking about this shit. But we're going to talk about this shit today. Now, listen to what I'm about to tell y'all, because this is bad. This gets very bad. She claims, the widow, that her primary worries center on the lack of consent, privacy violations, and risk to the women depicted, many whom now are mothers, grandmothers, professionals, or private citizens who are unaware that these images still or even exist. Now, the specific issues include, and listen to what I'm telling y'all right now, because this is diabolical work. This is the face of the devil himself. Possible images of underage girls. Let me stop right there. 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 She says that these images consist potential images of girls who weren't of age, so they could not consent to this. Images of adult women taken while they were intoxicated or otherwise unable to give informed consent during wild parties at this mansion. Potential for digitization, scanning leading to leaks, data breaches, deep fakes, AI misuse, or online distribution, she says, would be irreversible and capable of devastating thousands of lives. Now, she says that the material spanned decades beginning in the 1960s and may include images again of women who were not of age. Why isn't Hugh Hefner in prison if that's the case? Why wasn't he in prison when he died? Why did he get to die and not be in prison? Let's just stop right there. Let's just cut the shit, man. Because we go on this channel, we talk about Diddy, we talk about everybody, you know what I'm saying? They want to go hard. Even right now, they want to talk about Michael Jordan, right? But this man's widow's coming out and begging that these pictures be unallowed and these diaries unallowed to come out because she claims that this material that spanned for decades. And how did the cops, the feds, nobody knew anything about this shit? How did they not know? Or did they know? Beginning in the 1960s, and may include images of girls who were not of age at the time and could not consent to their images or would be retained or controlled. They may also contain images of women who did not consent to their images being taken in the first place. This is not historical documentation. This is the cataloging of objectification of women's most private details, she said. Women's body are not property, are not history, are not collectibles. This is a civil rights issue, she said. Thousands of women may be affected. She says, unlike me, the people who have custody of these scrapbooks do not have their own naked images in these books. They're not personally exposed and they are not personally at risk. The burden and the danger fall entirely on us, the woman in these photos, she said. Now, her lawyer, Gloria Allred, came out and echoed her point, stating that they're acting on behalf of thousands of other women and possibly girls that Crystal did not consent to having her intimate images stored by and accessible to this foundation. Now, Crystal says she's not seeking to restrict already published Playboy magazine images, only the private, personal ones. Now, Crystal was a serving president, CEO of the Hugh M. Hefner Foundation, which is a Santa Monica-based nonprofit incorporated in Illinois and supports progressive causes such as First Amendment rights, rational sex and drug policies, and civil liberties. Now, she claims she was unilaterally removed and asked to resign from the board in her leadership role on Monday, February the 16th, 2026, after internally raising these exact privacy, consent, and security concerns about materials which the foundation allegedly plans to digitalize and release in some form. She noted that the foundation custodians do not have their own images at risk, unlike the women involved. Now, on February the 16th, she posted an image on Instagram, a handwritten note she attributed to Hugh Hefner's notebooks. Anyone offended by the idea of women being sex objects should remember that it all began with Eve in the Garden of Eden. It was God's idea, she says. Copies of the regulatory complaints were displayed at the press conference but not provided to the reporters. And the foundation has not issued any public response or comment as of today. Right? Now, multiple outlets reached out with no reply. Right? Now, she married Hugh Hefner in 2012 after being the December 2009 Playmate of the Month. And she has been critical in recent years, including the January 2024 memoir, Only Say Good Things, Surviving Playboy and Finding Myself, where she described as feeling brainwashed during her time at Hugh Hefner's mansion. The 2022 A&E docuseries Secrets of a Playboy also featured allegations of abuse and misconduct at the mansion, which Playboy later leadership denounced. No new lawsuits have been filed yet. This is a regulatory complaint investigation request stage. The AG officers have not publicly commented. We got to ask ourselves the question, why isn't there a thorough investigation by the feds into this? And I want y'all to hear her when she said it. Why? I have a real question, everybody watching this video. Why isn't there outrage about this? I want y'all to think about this shit. Hugh Hefner was doing this shit in public in front of everybody with these ladies, right? So think about everybody that was going in the Hugh Hefner, you know what I'm saying, mansion. Everybody that was in the, you call him the hood rat Hugh Hefner. They spend dimes to 5 + 1 sitting on 10 times 2. Where's the investigation into Hugh Hefner? Where's the investigation into Hugh Hefner? Now, I want to play what she said, right? I want to play what she said, right? Because she, once again, have come out and she made some statements. She made some statements, you guys, through her lawyer, Gloria Allred.
I'm attorney Gloria Allred, and with me, to my left, is Crystal Hefner.
Now, I want to say this before I play this. Continue. Where is the smoke?
It's not just a legal violation.
Now, here's the thing, right? First of all, if there are pictures, she says there are pictures of girls who weren't of age. Why wasn't Hugh Hefner in prison? And she should have been in prison too if she knew this all along. She should be, matter of fact, she should be locked up right now. If she knew that he had pictures of underage girls and you married this dude and you died a widow, now you came out allegedly and spoke against him for what she's saying. But how much did she know and when she knew? There needs to be a federal investigation into that. Because if this dude had all these girls who was over there, and think about all these girls who are still doing Playboy, who was doing Playboy all this time. How many people, what did they see in the Playboy mansion? The one girl came out, she was talking about it during the Diddy trial. She was talking about what was going on over there in the Playboy mansion, said Hugh Hefner had all those cameras set up in those rooms. But then nobody had no smoke for Hugh Hefner. They thought Hugh Hefner was cool, but then mofos put the Playboy in their back and they thought it was straight. Right? I want to play what she had. I want to play what she had to say, though, because what she said was very, very interesting to me. And Gloria Allred was out here running her mouth, too. We're going to get to that, too. Gloria Allred, I'm going to tell you something. You should be the first one demanding a complete investigation into Hugh Hefner and to any of Hugh Hefner's associates that may still be alive, that had any knowledge of this. If Hugh Hefner had any associates that had any knowledge of this and are still alive, they should be in prison right now. We shouldn't even be asking the question. But why isn't, y'all got to ask yourselves, why aren't they talking about this? You know why? Because you know how many people was linked to Hugh Hefner? You know how many celebrities were linked to Hugh Hefner going to these parties? At the Playboy Mansion, they be the hood rat Hugh Hefner. Go look up all the people that was at the Hugh Hefner man. Now, if she said Hugh Hefner got all this stuff, then that means a lot of celebrities going to get exposed. In the Hugh Hefner situation. Because everybody was going to the Playboy Mansion. These are facts. Now, I want y'all to listen to what she said.
Hugh Hefner's collection of approximately 3,000 personal scrapbooks containing thousands of nude images of women, as well as Hefner's diary containing highly personal information regarding his sexual exploits, including names of women he slept with, notes describing the sex acts that they performed, and in some instances, even information tracking women's menstrual cycles. It is our honor to represent Crystal Hefner, who is not only Hugh Hefner's widow, but she's also a brilliant, outspoken advocate for women's rights. Crystal did not consent to having her intimate images stored by and accessible to the foundation. And we believe that many of the other women and or girls depicted did not consent either. After she voiced her concerns.
So let me say this. So if they didn't consent either, how this man get to die at 91 of old age? How he get to die a free man? He died of old age and a free man. I want you to think about this. Come on now. The hypocrisy is real. The hypocrisy is real. I'm seeing everybody run around here. The hypocrisy is real. What y'all thought? We wasn't going to double back to Hugh Hefner? Oh, yeah, let's get it. Because, see, she also said that this man had pictures, potentially, of girls who were not of age. Where's the complaint? It should be all kind of, I'm talking about the parents, everybody. Where's all the people? It should have been an immediate federal investigation. Anybody that was in that mansion that was complicit at these times. And I'm going to tell y'all why I think they don't want nobody to see any of those journals. Because what if Hugh Hefner in those journals wrote celebrities and other people who was there, other workers who were complicit in these acts or in these places? This is bad right here. Let's get right to it.
Yesterday, Crystal was unilaterally removed as the chief executive officer of the foundation. Crystal has therefore courageously chosen to speak out on this issue today, not only on her own behalf, but on behalf of thousands of other women and possibly girls who are depicted in the scrapbooks and are referenced in Hugh Hefner's personal sex diary. Crystal is especially concerned that these scrapbooks could contain images of minor girls. Minors.
Game over. Game over. If she knew that, why she didn't go to the feds this whole time? I'd be locking her ass up right now. If she knew that, and she bugging out now, is she bugging out because her pictures might get exposed? Or was she really worried about the fact that it might not have been girls of age that was in those pictures? It kind of don't make sense to me, except for she doing it for herself and don't want her to be exposed. Or it's a lot of other people. I'm telling y'all, man, a lot of y'all people was hanging around Hugh Hefner, man. A lot of them people in those big places, man. I seen them in the Playboy Mansion. Now, what if Hugh Hefner? Because once again, you got to think about what I'm saying now. This shit with Hugh Hefner got to be bigger than the Diddy shit, because they said Hugh Hefner had cameras all around there too. The girl from the UK, who was a Playboy bunny, she said it. She said it in her interview. She said Hugh Hefner, it was kind of the same type of vibe over there. The cameras, all that shit, right? See, y'all think I wasn't gonna double back on this shit? How did she know? See, she bugging now, because if it's all released, then y'all sitting out here, y'all want to play this little game. Well, we gonna play the game, and the feds, everybody should have been ran in now. The fact that she said underage, game over. No consent, game over. Where are all these people at? This man died at 91 years old, a free man of old age. He didn't die in prison. R. Kelly in prison. Harvey Weinstein in prison. Jeffrey Epstein died. Diddy in prison. Hugh Hefner was probably one of the biggest of them all. Hugh Hefner died a free man. And Hugh Hefner, all the people we saw with Hugh Hefner that was out here in the open, you mean to tell me the feds ain't run out on this man at no times? Now all of a sudden, at the last minute, she bugging, talking about Hey, man, hey, they can't let those things loose. They can't let his diaries go. This man was writing all that they kept. See, I'm going to tell y'all something. Remember they said that shit about Diddy and all y'all was. So we're going to say, we're talking about Hugh Hefner right now. So Hugh Hefner, they said, was keeping detailed notes. The public should be made privy of those notes that don't reveal the names of the victims, but the names of the perpetrators. Anybody who aided and abetted in those photos of those people who couldn't consent, people who weren't of age, people who may have been violated. Why is everybody quiet now? Let's keep going, because listen to what she just said. What she just said, shut the city down.
In Hugh Hefner's personal sex diary, Crystal is especially concerned that these scrapbooks could contain images of minor girls. Minors cannot legally or morally give their consent to be photographed naked or in sexual positions, and the law is unequivocal that the possession, digitization, and/or distribution of naked and/or sexual images of minors is illegal.
Now, if that's illegal and that's against the law, why haven't y'all already been speaking about this, Glory? Why did it wait till y'all thought that they was going to release this stuff? Why hasn't this already ever been spoken on? Why haven't the feds, why haven't the general public, why haven't all this shit been put on blast? Oh, I know why. It's too many people involved at the highest levels. Hugh Hefner, we already know he was connected at the highest levels with the celebrities. Shit, yeah, everybody going over to his crib. That shit wasn't even a question. You can't even question that. The only question is what, y'all, did Hugh Hefner have on footage? And not only this is a question that we ain't never asked. What did Hugh Hefner have on those videos? See, everybody talked about Diddy and Diddy's videos. That's cool. That shit was child's play to what we know what Hugh Hefner's on. What did Hugh Hefner have in those videos, on those photos, and in his diary written down? Why was Hugh? See, you don't get to make it that long without going to prison unless you're a boy. You got to have some shit the highest level in this thing, boy. You have to, boy, I'm gonna tell you something right now. The fact that they haven't talked about, that they never talked about what was on all those tapes you have no allegedly had. And the girl, Princess Munir, she came online talking about that shit. Cause she was a Playboy bunny. She was talking about, and she said it was kind of along the lines, it reminded her of how the Playboy parties went. The same thing people were saying about the Diddy parties, but they only talked about the Diddy parties. Everybody was cool with Hugh Hefner. But it's going down now. Because now they're in panic mode. Somebody got their hands on that shit. And I'm going to tell you why I think they sounding the alarm. I think they sounding the alarm because they want the feds to come in and swoop up all that information. Sort of like they got the Epstein files. But after years and years of people complaining, and see, this is the problem right here in the comment section. I have a problem with people like you. You say nothing will happen because of coward punk bitches like yourself. That's why nothing will ever happen. Because you are a freaking coward and you ain't worth a shit. And you only come in here worried about, oh, ain't nothing gonna happen. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Ain't nothing gonna happen because we got people like you running around here. If you had more folks like me running around here, people like Hugh Hefner ass would have been under a goddamn cell when he left this earth. He'd have been buried in prison. Period. And somebody says, so what you gonna do then? I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Bitch ass nigga. I'm in here sounding the fucking alarms so that the people can understand what the hell is going on because ain't nobody else doing it. That's what I'm doing. I'm using my platform, you punk bitch. That's what I'm doing. I'm using my platform right now to push information to the world so that somebody who potentially is in a position stronger than mine can do something. It's better than a little punk like yourself that just run around here, shut your little punk ass mouth, and say, ain't nothing gonna happen, ain't nothing gonna happen, ain't nothing gonna happen, ain't nothing gonna happen. You a fool, boy. You a fool, boy. You better understand what the hell I'm doing, boy. Why ain't every news station in America talking about this shit? Why ain't this shit on the Breakfast Club? Why ain't this shit on all over the message, all over the news stations? Hugh Hefner was way bigger than Diddy. Whatever fucking be. He was way bigger than Diddy. And we know for a fact that Hugh Hefner was having those parties. Now we asked what was going on in those parties. And what do he have in those videotapes, those photos, and those journalists? Those journal entries that he got. See, that's the question you got to ask. And then you have to ask yourself, this girl, his ex-widow, his widow's crying about it right now. Talking about they're all going to get exposed. What do you mean? Isn't that what you want, everything to be exposed, the truth? That's not what you want? See, let's keep going.
Moreover, Crystal is also concerned that some of the images in the scrapbooks may have been taken without the informed consent of the adult women depicted.
That's illegal. Here's another thing. So, I don't think Hugh Hefner was taking that shit by himself. Don't you think Hugh Hefner had people that was working with him? Or would they call those people assailants? Where they at? See, I don't think Hugh Hefner was taking all these pictures by himself. You think Hugh Hefner was controlling all that by himself? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. But let's keep going. It gets more diabolical.
Just while they were intoxicated. Adult women also have the legal right not to have their intimate photos digitized and shared.
And to the person who said something to me in the comment section, I want to say something to you right now, right? And I'm going to show you how diabolical this shit is. And I'm going to show you why my brothers feel the way they feel about certain shit when I cook on guys like Diddy and some of these brothers. And I'm going to tell y'all why they brothers. I straight up understand them. And I'm going to show y'all why. I'm going to show you why. To the person who said in the comment section, oh, I mean, what do you think you're going to do about it? I'm going to show you something what I'm going to do about it. Because I'm going to show you how diabolical this was. And I'm going to show you on your screen right now. I promise you I'm going to show you. Let me remove this little script down from the bottom. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the podcast show. Link pinned at the top of the chat. As always, I want to show y'all something, man. Gloria Allred, big press conference. Big press conference. We got 1,425 people, 1,561 people live right now. And all I did was put 2 words in the comments in the title. It's over. But I want to show y'all something. When they did this press conference less than 24 hours ago, do you know how many people watched this? Look at the views on the official channel. 725 views. 725 views. If that ain't getting buried, I don't know what is. 725 views. What this? That should have 1 million, 2 million views. And I'm literally showing y'all. This has been up for 23 hours. And it's got 725 views. This is diabolical. They're talking about potentially one of the biggest schemes in American history outside of the Epstein files. What do you think should happen to all the people who's rolling with this guy now? That they've heard this information and that he had wrote these journals and all these things. This shit is like the Epstein files could potentially. What if their names are in the journals that he wrote? What if they're in the photos? What if they're in the videos? Let's keep going.
Without their consent, even if the original photo was taken with their consent. Any distribution of the images without their consent is not just a legal violation, it's also a violation of their reasonable expectation of privacy and bodily autonomy. And in the digital age, this harm can be irreparable and immeasurable. We have therefore chosen to file two separate complaints, one in California, because the foundation is registered to do business in California, and it is where the foundation's principal place of business is located, and one in Illinois, because it is where the foundation was and is incorporated. We ask that Attorney General Rob Bonta of California and Attorney General Kwame Raoul of Illinois not only investigate this issue, but also take all appropriate remedial action to secure the intimate images of women in the scrapbooks and the
Shout out to Janelle Bradford with a $1,000 donation in the PayPal just now. Salute to you, my sister. I appreciate you. She said, she ain't even say nothing. Man, salute to you, my sister. You ain't even say nothing. Also, I want to shout out to D Sky with the donation. Salute to you. Also, shout out to Linda Martinez with the donation. Angela Brown with the donation 2 times. Emily Blackwell with the donation 2 times. Salute to all of y'all who support in the chat room. Y'all already know they support the channel. Y'all know what's up. Let's get back to it.
Private information about women's sex lives and bodies mentioned in the diary. These attorney generals are tasked with overseeing nonprofit organizations, including the Hugh M. Hefner Foundation. Crystal and the other thousands of women depicted in the scrapbooks and or written about in Hugh M. Hefner's diary deserve the assurance that these images and this information will be handled with the utmost care and security and will never be accessed or distributed to anyone or any entity. We look forward to the response of the attorneys general to our complaint. And now we can change seats and you can sit over here. Okay, let's sit down. This is Crystal Hefner.
I'm speaking today for myself and for countless other women whose naked and sexually explicit images are being kept without our consent in approximately 3,000 scrapbooks, which belong to my late husband, Hugh Hefner. It is critical for the public to understand that I'm not referring to images that appeared in magazines. My focus is on how Hugh Hefner's personal scrapbooks chronicled private moments that took place behind closed doors. There are serious and unresolved concerns about the scope of what these books contain. The materials span decades, beginning in the 1960s, and may include images of girls who were underage at the time and could not consent to how their images would be retained or controlled. They may also contain images of women who did not consent to their images being taken in the first place. The scrapbooks include nude images, images taken before, after, and during sexual activity, and other deeply intimate moments. They contain intimate material involving women who are now mothers, grandmothers, professionals, and private citizens who have spent decades building their lives with no idea these images were still being hoarded. I believe they include women and possibly girls who never agreed to lifelong private possession of their naked images and who have no transparency into where their photos are, how they are being stored, or what will happen to them next. These are the reasons why I am filing complaints with the Attorneys General of California and Illinois and requesting that they initiate an investigation into how these images are being handled and stored. This is not historical documentation. This is the cataloging and objectification of women's most private details. Today, I am told the scrapbooks are in a storage facility in California. However, I was previously told that some of the scrapbooks could be inside a private residence to be scanned and digitized. This is not archival preservation. This is not history. This is control. I am deeply worried about these images getting out. Artificial intelligence, deepfakes, digital scanning, online marketplaces, and data breaches mean that once images leave secure custody, the harm is irreversible. A single security failure could devastate thousands of lives. These materials are now being kept under the guise of a charitable organization, the Hugh M. Hefner Foundation, which publicly claims to stand for civil rights and civil liberties. The hypocrisy is as disturbing as it is obvious. I stayed involved with the Hugh M. Hefner Foundation in part because I'm worried about these books.
Let me say something to this person in the comment section, because obviously y'all don't use y'all brains, and I'm gonna get you right. I'm gonna get you right. And this is to this brother who keeps saying this. Your name is the BS. You are BS, and I'm gonna block you after I cook your ass right now. Obviously, sir, what you aren't too intelligent enough to figure out, somebody is trying to expose everything before it gets in the hands of people who will make sure it never gets exposed. Obviously, someone was trying to get this information out to the public. Period. Because for the feds not to have their hands on all of this, it's obvious that somebody was trying to hurry up and get all this information leaked to the public so it'll be sent straight to the public eye and not get caught in the hands. So somebody, and the fact that she's coming out saying, hey, no, we got to block this. No, man, we got to get this, we got to get this blocked. Now those are sounding alarms for the feds to come in and say, hold on, you got material with women who are not of age? We got to take all that. We got to take that now. And guess what? Anybody that may have been linked, we never would know now. Why? Because if those journals don't get leaked, and if nobody leaks out that information, now what? Now you got to depend on the same people who had the Epstein files for justice. Right? It's kind of hard when you got to do it like that. So it seems like somebody said, you know what, man? Hey, man, I'm finna let this ride. They fired her ass the other day, and they were probably getting ready. So we don't know. They might have, the feds might have already ran down on them as soon as this shit happened. The feds might have ran down and said, let me get all that. Because it's illegal to be in possession of material of people who are not of age like that. That's illegal. So it seems like somebody was trying to get this information out, because she said journals too, which could link so many other people. And to the dude who says, oh, this is just trying to distract us from the Epstein files. No, sir. You got to understand, this is just as big. This is the jackpot. You wanted the jackpot. This is the jackpot. See, Diddy, he's the bronze. He's the bronze. Epstein may be the silver. You got to ask yourself one question in this comment section, ladies and gentlemen. If Diddy was the bronze, and guys like Epstein and the guy from Abercrombie and Fitch and those guys, they're the silver. Who's the gold? Who's the gold? Who was the most infamous of them all? Oh, we're going to find out pretty soon. That's if it's not all hidden.
And the women in them, and I hope the harm could finally be addressed. Instead, I was asked to resign from my role on the foundation's board and was excluded from the foundation's decision-making. The concerns I raised about consent, safety, and security were ignored. Though I declined to resign my position yesterday in direct response to my escalating concerns regarding the handling of private photos contained in the scrapbooks, I was unilaterally removed from my position as the Chief Executive Officer / President of the Foundation. Unlike me, the people who have custody of these scrapbooks do not have their own naked images in these books. They are not personally exposed.
So the person in the comment section said, "Isn't he dead?" That doesn't mean anything. And I'm going to tell you why. Hugh Hefner did not have all these pictures and stuff by himself. He didn't. Hugh Hefner was not doing all. It takes an enterprise to accomplish things like this. So some people that may have been rocking with him, or a lot of them may still be alive walking around here thinking that they ain't got a damn thing to worry about. That's until today.
And they are not personally at risk. The burden and the danger fall entirely on us, the women in the photos. Women have the right to bodily autonomy. We have the right to control our own likeness. We have the right to say the intimate images created under unequal conditions do not get to follow us for the rest of our lives. This is not about money. I am seeking dignity, safety, and the destruction of non-consensual intimate materials so that the exploitation does not continue under the banner of philanthropy. Thousands of women may be affected. This is a civil rights issue. Women's bodies are not property, not history, and not collectibles. And no organization should be allowed to claim the language of civil rights while denying women their most basic one, the right to control their own bodies and images. Thank you.
Thank you. And we're not going to be handing out a copy of the complaints we filed. However, you can stand up and you can stand up too. Okay. So, excuse me. Oops. All right. We have redacted this, which I'll show you, which is the California complaint to the California Attorney General. And you can hold this. And Crystal's holding a confirmation of the complaint that we filed, Office of the Illinois Attorney General, Kwame Raoul. The complaint to the California Attorney General is something that has to be mailed, not emailed. So basically, this is the complaint form, and this is the letter that we sent by certified mail this morning to the California Attorney General. And this is the confirmation of the email complaint that we sent to the Illinois Attorney General, which was capable of being filed online with the Attorney General. So this is the confirmation that we sent it.
Now, I'm going to ask y'all a question. The question everybody is probably going to want to know the answer to. Who knew about all this? Who knew? The fact that she comes out today, the day after they got fired her ass, and she's afraid that they're going to leak out all this information. Diaries, photos of all these women and without clothes on and sexual positions during acts, people who wasn't of age. This is crazy work, man. And you got to ask yourself a question. The whole world is talking about Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Why is nobody talking about this? How in the blue hell is Hugh Hefner one of the biggest ever? How does this video get 725 views? This press conference on Gloria Allred's official, not some back alley uh, uh, cowboy channel. No. This is her official channel. You want to talk about Barry? 725 views and 27 comments? Are you serious? Oh my God, man. This is crazy work, right? So what did I do, right? What did I do? I went and I looked up, right? Every allegation that has been ever levied against Hugh Hefner. Because I had to know, what's going on? Like, how is this girl's coming out with all this stuff now. How did he slip under this radar like this? I had to know. You know what I found? When I looked up, did research on every allegation against Hugh Hefner, it was hard. Definitely hard. Hold on, what you say? You said they want to distract us. Distract us from what? Bro, what are you talking about distract us? What's the distraction from, bro? Y'all keep saying, hold on. I want to understand where you're coming from with this. Y'all keep talking about a distraction. How is it a distract? This is what we need to be focused on. This is right down. So again, you keep talking about, I'm saying this again, you keep saying it's a distraction. Y'all say this about every single thing we talk about. If this is a distraction, what the hell are we supposed to be talking about, man? I need you to say that in the comment section before I move forward. What the hell are we supposed to be talking about if this is a distraction? Y'all say every freaking thing on earth is a distraction. It don't matter what we come here and talk about, it's a distraction, dog. From what? Listen, I'm truly waiting for somebody in this comment section to tell me with a straight face, please. I'm asking anybody, why is this dude? What is this a distraction from? From what? That's what I thought. Now let me tell y'all why I think this is the iceberg. See, everybody thought these other guys was the iceberg. Hugh Hefner was 91 years old. He'd been in the game for years, right? Hugh Hefner never went to prison. Hugh Hefner had been accused of emotional abuse, controlling behavior, serious criminal acts, sexual assault, drugging, BESTIALITY, and people in his family and who loved him supported him. But many of the former residence employees, if y'all remember from the Playboy Mansion, right? They described the dark reality of this dude. Remember the girl Precious Minier? She's probably looking at this video right now. Remember this now, because this man was accused of R-word and sexual battery by multiple women. Let me repeat. myself again. The hood rat Hugh Hefner has been accused of sexual battery and R-word, right? By multiple women. But this man never went to prison. I want you to really think about that. How did Hugh Hefner never go to prison? Now, the Playmates were accusing this guy. That's right. The Playmates were accusing Hugh Hefner of being a diabolical ass dude. These are facts. See, y'all don't want, see, they don't want to talk to y'all about this. Hugh Hefner, he died of old age, a free man. He didn't go in prison, behind bars, locked up forever. He didn't do that. I wonder why. We have to ask ourselves a real question, you guys. How did Hugh Hefner get to live his entire life without, ducking prison? Ducking prison, right? I'm asking y'all this question, right? You said the Playboy Murders docuseries. Well, we'll just say it to you like this, all right? So anyways, Hugh Hefner, you guys, Playmates Susie Krabacher and Dorothy Stratton accused him of R-wording them. Now, some of them allege that he assaulted them while they were unconscious or in a drug-induced state, right? Now, he was also accused of conspiring with or enabling Bill Cosby to commit sexual battery at the Playboy Mansion. Let me repeat this again. Now, Bill Cosby just recently came out and admitted to drugging women, attempting to do it. Once again, Hugh Hefner, remember y'all, he was accused of conspiring with and enabling Bill Cosby to commit sexual battery at the Playboy Mansion. Now, he also had ex-girlfriends who had accused him and said that he forced them into being coerced into regularly sexual, scheduled group sex sessions, often involving up to 12 people at a time. Right? Now, he also was accused of using the Q word and other types of drugs to sedate his woman. He referred to them as what they call thigh openers, which facilitated sex. Now, his ex-girlfriend had came out and stated that he used her as a drug mule to get that white stuff for him. You know what I'm talking about, the C word. All this goes right down the line of what they was accusing Diddy. But ain't nobody had nothing to say about Hugh Hefner. We getting it. We getting into this shit now. What about the cleanup crews? Remember all this stuff you heard, allegations you heard around Diddy? Former staff members claimed that Hugh Hefner had cleanup crews to hide evidence of drug ODs and sexual assaults from the police and from the media. He was also accused of controlling and emotional abuse of these women. Now, they accused him, and these are the people who were living in the Playboy Mansion, of forcing them to live under strict rules, y'all, including that they had a 9 p.m. curfew, mandatory matching pajamas, and allowances that were withheld if he was dissatisfied with them. He was also accused of psychological manipulation. Now, he had reportedly pitted girlfriends against each other to create fighting within themselves to maintain the control he had over them. He also was accused of forcing women, or pressuring them, I should say, to undergo plastic surgery to meet a specific look he wanted to call the Playboy look. Now, numerous reports had claimed that the Playboy mansion had been rigged with hidden cameras and microphones to record the sexual encounters without people's consent. Now you see this girl coming out here saying, yo, man, he got all these people, he got these girls' pictures. They wasn't of age. They wasn't of age. He got their pictures. He got all of our pictures against our consent. Now, he was accused of the blackmail, the recordings he allegedly kept as collateral, which would prevent people from speaking out against him. Now, this woman that I just told y'all, she just came out with these allegations today saying they got these photos and shit. She's fighting to keep them silent, right? But this goes right along the lines of what she said that he had. So he has been accused of using this type of stuff as collateral. Because I told y'all, how did he never go to prison? You got to ask yourself that question. Now, here's another thing, and this is the absolute iceberg in my opinion. The Bestility, disgusting. I don't even want to say the name on YouTube, right? Lord have mercy, man. So a woman by the name of Sandra Theodore, and ladies and gentlemen, if you have kids around you, cover their ears, because I don't want them to hear any of this. Sandra Theodore, she claimed to have witnessed Hugh Hefner. Let me repeat myself again. This is the face of pure, unadulterated evil itself. This is the face of that, right? This is the face of that. This is the face of that. This is the face of that. Right? This is the face of that. Right? She accused Hugh Hefner. She said, Sandra Theodore, you can look this up. I'm not making this shit up. Nobody want to talk about this. But she accused Hugh Hefner. She said she witnessed him having sex with a DOG. Not just any one, but hers. Let me repeat myself again. She said that she witnessed Hugh Hefner having sex with her DOG and forcing other people to do the same things with PETSs. Oh, that's right. That's right. And see, this some diabolical. I'm trying to tell y'all. Now, think about this now. I ain't finished yet. He was also accused, right? Right? Of having, and now it seems like this may have been true too, because there was allegations against him that included the presence of minors at parties where illegal activity occurred. And now, from her saying that they could have been in them photos too, they're in them photos that she don't want released, their information, thousands of women, she said, man, it's over with, bro. It's over with, bro. Right? Also, you had valet. Let me repeat myself again. You had a valet man by the name of Stephen Tettenbaum. Y'all can look this shit up. Stephen Tettenbaum. He claimed that he saw Hugh Hefner brutally, all word, a playmate by the name of Dorothy Stratton in the BOOTY. in the mansion grotto, right? You had multiple women, including twins, Christina and Carissa Shannon, who had alleged that Hugh Hefner had coerced them into sexual acts as teenagers and refused to use protection, resulting in at least one secret pregnancy and abortion. Let's keep going. Again, you had more people that accused him, and testimonies as well, of providing a safe haven for people like Bill Cosby to drug and assault women, including women that were not of age, right? I've already told y'all that he was accused of using thigh openers, or leg spreaders, which were, things that they used to sedate women and facilitate non-consensual sexual activity, right? He was accused of also, by his staff members, securing stockpiles of sedatives and stimulants through illicit means, including using other names for prescriptions. He was also accused of running a cult-like environment, right? Isolation and gaslighting these women, right? Using revenge, PORN, and collateral to keep people from, speaking out, right? Now think about this. He was accused of having a pig night in which his staff described a weekly ritual where sex workers were brought to the mansion, medically inspected, I should say, by doctors, and used for the entertainment of Hugh Hefner's VIP friends. I wonder who those guys were, right? They also stated that Hugh Hefner forced a woman by the name of Linda Lovelace to have sexual relations with an animal, right? Right? He also was accused of having shadow mansions, where associates allegedly operated secondary mansions, where aspiring models were drugged and assaulted under the guise of fake photo shoots, right? Now, his son came out, Cooper Hefner, talking about some people was hating on his dad and trying to use it as, allegations, using them as regret, becoming revenge, meaning they regretted the fact that they took that lifestyle and, blah, blah, blah. I mean, now this girl is coming out here saying in front of the world what it is. She's saying this in front of the world, y'all. So, y'all see what it is. Y'all see what it is, man. Sad situation, man. Sad situation, bro. But this guy has gotten a big pass, major pass, and he got to die, not being in prison and of old age.
Which may not be against the law. What are they planning to do after they digitize them? And is it going to forever be digitized but never distributed to anyone? To any university, to any individual, or will they ever be sold? Some of Mr. Hefner's private items have been sold and raised funds for the foundation. So we have a concern. We don't know.
Gloria Justin from Fox 11. What is your ultimate hope through this legal action, and would you like to see it destroyed? What do you want to tell us the instructions?
Well, if in fact there is no proof of written consent by an adult female, then I think the question is, did that female give consent? And even if she did she give informed consent? For example, was she under the influence of alcohol?
Man, boy, this thing right here is crazy, y'all. Oh my God, bro. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy work, man. Bro, I don't know how this thing's gonna play out, you guys, but I know that this thing is bad. Right? I know it's bad. Right? And I just think that this thing is, yeah, man. The girl, her name is the Playboy Bunny that came and spoke out, you guys. Her name was Precious Muir. That's her name. She's a black girl from the UK. Now, she was one of those girls that came out and that was speaking out. Remember, she was speaking out against Diddy, y'all, in the Diddy trial. Y'all remember that? Everybody remember that in the chat room? She came out. She is speaking out against, Diddy in the Diddy trial, right? And during that trial, she said some things, and it aligns right with the stuff that's being accused with Hugh Hefner. But she also said that, and she said in her interview that part of the things she said that it was the same kind of setup as Hugh Hefner had. Listen to what she said.
I was going to events, I was signing calendars, I was doing photo shoots, I modeled the lingerie company brand. And so, I had an opportunity to travel around the US. And I was able to work with the company for quite some time. And the opportunities that I got through working with Playboy really offered a lot of other opportunities that came up in other avenues of modeling. It allowed me to meet and greet other people at these fantastic, fabulous events. If it was held at Hugh Hefner's house or it was at a golf retreat, we had those opportunities there that allowed the bunnies to be exposed to executives in the industry who can book you for something else. So, it was a really good opportunity. There were positives and there's negatives. We were always advertising Playboy. I mean, everything we had was all over us. We had the hats, we had the socks, we had the shirts, the jackets, the jumpers, you name it. Like, we were branded from head to toe.
Yes, you're like early influencers, really, what we class.
We were ahead of the game. Like, we were doing things way before all this Instagram came about. Like, literally the bunnies we were basically product placement.
Now, you've described it as a unique job. I think unique's a fair word.
It is a unique job because I don't think I know anybody else doing something particularly like this. There is a casting process. And the casting process is basically like any model job. You have to go in, you have to meet somebody who is going to basically book you for this gig. You have to go in lingerie or a bikini. You take some Polaroids and they'll then decide if you're suitable for the role. I arrived in New York.
Do y'all hear everything she's saying? I need to know, everybody in this conversation, listen to this video. Do y'all hear everything this girl's saying that was going on? This is all the stuff she's claiming. Once again, these are all the stuff that she's claiming that was going on in this situation. Listen up closely.
2005, and it took me a couple of years to find my way. And I initially started going to parties in 2007.
So you spoke a little bit there about career progression in this particular arena, and attending events as part of that, attending parties as part of that. When did that become apparent to you that was a way that you progressed?
Well, when I got signed to the New York agency that I did initially when I was 18 years old, and I moved to New York when I was 19. 19 going on 20. And for me, it was
it was part of the industry that was made very, very, we were made aware of it very quickly. Socially, you needed to go out there. We went to socialize, to meet people that we could possibly never meet in our lives. And our agents and managers at the time would encourage us to go to these events. They would be, they wouldn't force you, but they would be like, well, Precious, if you've been invited, I think it's good for your career if you go. And there is a more sinister side to it. Yeah, of course. I mean, with every good, there is bad. And so people need to understand the entertainment industry is a very difficult one to navigate, especially when you don't have the right people around you, or you don't have the right people directing you in the direction of safety, looking out for your, not just get that job, book that job so I can get my percent. They are encouraging you for your safety and doing the right thing. Back then, we didn't have that. I don't feel I had that. I had to figure it out very quickly on my own. And can you talk to me about the first time you experienced that made you go, oh, okay, I'm not sure if I'm quite comfortable right now? Yeah, I mean, I basically went to, so my exposure to the industry was industry parties, and then came the Diddy parties at the Hamptons, and then later on was the Playboy Mansion. So I had that was the progression of my 10 years in New York. Initially when I was exposed to this industry, it was a smaller event. I was told to, to come to this amazing party. It's going to be great. There's going to be lots of people that you can network with, and there's opportunities there. There could be casting directors looking for new models for something, like you need to go. So here's me in Manhattan. The party consisted of a lot of people that are in the entertainment industry, a lot of people that are in hip hop, in the music industry. And I met a few of the inner circle friends that are very close to Diddy, and the same people I saw throughout the 10-year period of, hanging out with this inner circle of entertainment industry people. The first and real initiation, I guess, was me taking a sip of alcohol that basically changed my life, the way I was approached these situations after that. Like, I literally was not able to let my guard down after that. Like, that experience of me being drugged set me up for the rest of my period of time in New York. I knew that for my safety, I had to be fully aware of what I was doing every step of the way after that really horrific incident that happened to me.
This is crazy work. So she said that she was sent to, listen to this, y'all. She was sent to New York at age 18, going on 19. She went to New York, and it just got cracked. It got to popping. That's what she said.
Remember too much after obviously being drugged, because I was immediately felt a reaction. Now, as a person who doesn't do drugs, as a person who only casually drinks, I'm more of a champagne girl than vodka and cranberry. It really hit me and affected me in a very bad way. And the reaction that I received when I drank that one sip was one of the most horrific things I've ever been through in my entire life. It was so scary at the time, because I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't know exactly how to deal with it. And because I was reacting in such a bad way, thank God somebody saw me, and the venue security guard came over and helped me in the situation. But I don't know if I had just been left with the people that I was with, what could have happened to me. I honestly don't know. If I hadn't been saved by that person, where it could have gone. The rest of the night could have been, it could have turned into something else. And I have to ask you, it's uncomfortable asking you this question, but I have to. You say that you were drugged.
Yes, I was.
And it's a horrific experience for anybody who's been through that.
Yeah.
Did you then go into the doctors and see if it was still in your system? And if so, did you then report it to the police?
So this is the thing. Think about the logic of it. I was new to the industry. I didn't know really anybody at that time. I did go and see a doctor. I was checked out, but I did not report it to the police. And this is what I really regret in my life, that I should have at the time gone to the police. But because I wasn't, I know it sounds really bad, but because I wasn't violated in any way, I just thought that, let me just get through this. Like, let me just get past this part. Like, I was drugged. I'm okay now. I wasn't hurt, sexually violated, but I wasn't encouraged to make a police report. And I should have, at the time, gone to the police and made that police report. But I did get seen by a doctor and I was okay. Whatever substance that was put into my system that I did not consent to, okay? It was awful. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. And this is why you've been speaking out so much.
Yes, because it's a situation you just can't understand until you're in it.
Yeah.
And how people get through it and have gone through something even worse. I don't honestly know how they can. And I tell you what, the fact that I was drugged and I was unable to protect myself, I was unable to figure out how can I get through this situation. I literally lost one.
To the brother in the comment section who said something, I'm going to say something to you, brother, because obviously you don't have a daughter, or if you're a lady, something wrong with you. And I'm going to tell you why. It's girls to this day, and I'm just going to keep it 1,000 with you. It's girls to this day that still go to these parties looking to get on. This ain't nothing new. This ain't something for you to be talking about some, oh man, and she said she wish she might. Man, it's still girls to this day. Your parents could have did a hell of a job with you. It's still girls that's going to go out the way to do whatever the hell they want to do, to be around their friends, to be around celebrities. I know girls that sneaking out the windows of their house to go be around celebrities, to go to the parties, to go to do all this stuff, to be in these events, to be close to celebrities, to be in the after parties. You know how many women still want to go to be in the after parties right now around these celebrities? Cut it out. They didn't go and ask to get something put in their drink. They just be going because they trying to get on. Maybe they trying to get on in the industry or something like that. Some of them don't know the cost that come with that shit. They don't know the price that come with it until they experienced it. Some of them, they see it, and some of them like, hey, man, I'm willing to do whatever. I'm willing to sell out to get to wherever I got to go. But if you still look, even to this day, them parties going to be packed. It's still going to be a whole bunch of chicks just hanging on. Let's just tell the truth. So when you saying that she coming out, shoulda, woulda, coulda, it's a lot of ladies right now that don't listen to their mom and their pops. Their mom and their father told them everything they could tell them. As soon as they go to college and you can't pay attention to them no more, game over. They're going to do what they want to do. Now, some of them have a strong enough teaching and have a strong enough will to, be able to decipher and say, you know what, that's not what I want to do. But a lot of them, they fall victim to the game, right? I want you to think about this. And to the brother who says that, am I out of my mind? White dude's not going to prison. Well, sir, you're a liar. And I'm going to tell you why you're a liar. You a liar and you dumb as hell, boy. Your name is Gresh 3RD, third 601. You should be the third dummy in this damn channel, dog. You said white men are not going to prison. Where the hell is Harvey Weinstein at right now? Asshole light. I'm going to ask you a question, though. Before I block your stupid ass, I'm going to ask you a question. Where's Harvey Weinstein right now doing the rest of his life pretty much in prison? I'm just asking you a question. Where was Epstein headed, sir? Where's Ghislaine Maxwell right now? Isn't Mike Jeffries from Abercrombie and Fitch? Didn't they just say, we're not giving you no bullshit excuse, you're going to face trial? And probably the rest of your life in prison? You want to keep doing this, son? To the dude who says, hey, half your show is addressing these weirdos, because you got to. You got to address them and get on their level. You got to check their ass. Because if not, they think the cap they saying is real. Oh, man, ain't not going to happen to these white dudes. Meanwhile, Harvey Weinstein, one of the biggest in the whole industry, is behind bars. These are all facts. So let's not do that, Slim. Do some of them get off? Yeah, that's true. All of them? Nope. But some of the ones that get off is because of people like you. Ghislaine Maxwell's never getting a pardon. Ghislaine Maxwell will never get a pardon. Trump will never pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Ever. Ever. He will never pardon her. She'll have the easiest time of her life now from now on in prison, but she's never getting pardoned. She know too much. She knows too much to let her out. She's never getting pardoned. So to the person who said this, man, bro, you got to do your research before you start saying these things, because you make yourself sound stupid when you say dumb shit. Didn't they just arrest the famous movie actor over certain allegations? Ain't he facing trial? Right? So what are you talking about, brother? What are you talking about?
Side of my face was gone. I could not feel. I could not hold myself up. I was not able to protect myself if anybody in that room wanted to do something to me. And I stopped it, right? I was able to stop the situation. But only because of that guy, the security guard, and I need to stress, venue security guard, was able to help me get out of that situation. If it wasn't for him, I don't know what would have happened to me. And so that's why I say, like, the drugging is the issue. Because when you are drugged, you are taking that person's ability to react to the situation, and then you're taking advantage of them. It does feel like that there's a bit of a shift happening right now, and you've been speaking out a lot. I really am just speaking out because the fact is the industry is not safe for young talent. And when young talent come into the industry, we need to be there to support them and to be guiding them and advising them in the right way. And I feel like there's some people that are not speaking up truthfully. I would never say that somebody else that went to these events and had an incident happen to them, well, I don't believe them because I didn't see it. I don't believe them. I think everything in that industry that's come out about incidents, individuals, I believe them. I truly believe them because unless you're in it and you understand what you're in, you don't know. When you're around people that nobody says no to, you have the finances to get anything you want. And remember, these people are human beings. Humans are flawed. So you put this celebrity on a pedestal and you think this person can never do anything wrong? No wrong whatsoever? We've touched on this already, but immediately people skeptical of the situation would say, well, did you go to another one? And why did you go to another one? The reason why I kept going back to social events like this is because it was encouraged by my agents at the time that this is how you make a way in the industry. This is how you make your connections. We don't have certain platforms back then to be able to speak to people directly. So the best way to do it is to be in person. There was opportunities that I achieved going to these events and meeting people in person that I don't think I would ever have gotten by just going to a casting.
Now, I told y'all this. and she breaking this thing all the way down to the molecule. So if you don't understand, I mean, it's easy to understand.
Overwhelming to do this. People don't understand how brave you have to be because, people want to hurt you for saying the truth. And so this is why I'm very limited to who I speak to, where I go about this circumstances, because I have to be worried about my safety. But I'm never going to not talk about my experience because somebody is trying to scare me into not saying something. I know that it's my truth. I know what I saw. I know what I experienced. I know what I went through. And all I'm trying to do is bring awareness to young talent so it doesn't happen to them. That's it. And look, I have to ask you, why not raise a civil lawsuit? No, I don't think I need to. This is the thing. I don't think that it makes sense for me. The period of time that is gone, I don't have a police report and I wasn't sexually assaulted, right? So I have to think logically. I know I would love to. I don't think also the civil, right? Civil is just for a payout, right? It's compensation. And there's one half of it of sort of going back to these events and spaces because of the career benefits it could have. And there's another half of it, which is also very valid, which is getting wrapped up in the grandeur of it all. And we have heard since Diddy parties became in and of itself its own sort of saying, how grand and extravagant they actually, what kind of things would you see when you were going there? Well, what did I see? It's these events, the way that it's like a movie, right? You walk into this extremely lavish lifestyle, right? It's like a music video. It's like a movie. Everything it just looks like $1 million, right? It just is beautiful. There's champagne. There's beautiful women. There's beautiful men. There's the architecture of the building is just like, wow. Like, you're just like, oh my, you're just in awe of it all, right? Behind all of this is the craziness as well. So you're experiencing both sides. Don't get me wrong. I had a good time up until certain points of like each event and stuff. Because it is so amazing, and you do get to be in like, for example, you're right next to somebody you used to watch on television. Like, you're right there going, oh my God, like, this is, and you're like, this is insane. So you are in literal, I could just touch them if I wanted to. That's how close I was to these household names. And we were always amongst this kind of, people. We as models and as new talent, we were amongst these people who are very well established. And so there is an appeal to that. There is a feeling that you feel, wow, I'm accepted. I'm being I don't know, you feel like you're one of the people, you're one of the crew, you're one of the crowd of fabulous people that you had imagined to be a part of. I mean, there is nothing in this world than Hollywood. Like, that is a whole different world. It is like eye-opening and surprising and exciting, but then it's also scary because you have no idea, why do these older men fancy me? I look like a 20-year-old, younger. I look much younger, actually, to be honest. And you think, like, for example, I would talk to, some of these rappers or athletes, and they'll be much older than me. And I would just be like, but why are they, I was very, I don't know, I don't think I was insecure, but I was just like, why do they I look like a girl, like a little girl. Like, what interest does this grown man have with me? And I would always question that, because all of the rappers that you see, all of the athletes, they love girls that they don't necessarily like them looking like older women. They like the young face, the nice body, this, I don't know, it's very difficult to explain. And I really want to make this point as well, which I've noticed a lot of people have
have said this to me, and I want to make this really clear. I really want to make a point that because I said I saw something and I didn't see something else doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. Did you hear similar things when it came to Diddy party? I mean, I've spoken to other people. We've seen the images, of naked women covered in etc. Yeah. Sex, was it on offer? Was it something that you felt like you had to do while you were there, or was that more sort of hype about the event?
Regularmente cuando nos hace... Now, she asked that question. Now, remember, this is the same girl who said that the Hugh Hefner parties were right along the same lines as the Diddy parties. Remember she said that now. Remember she said that.
Was it on offer? Was it something that you felt like you had to do while you were there, or was that more sort of hype about the event? Playboy and Diddy parties, for me, my experience was slightly different, right? So when you're a Playboy bunny, it feels like what you're feeling amongst the situation. When you're there, you have to please the people that have paid thousands of pounds to be a part of these events because they're raising money for charity or whatever else they're raising money for. So you feel like there is more of you need to make sure that these, high rollers are having a great time. With the Diddy party, it was more of a networking thing for me. So there is sex everywhere. Lots of girls were getting half naked, completely naked in the pool. Loads of drinking and drug taking. Drugs freely offered to you? Freely offered. Yeah, minutes as you arrive. Would you like some coke? Do you want some? I say no, then it's a big deal. Oh my God, why don't you do drugs? Why don't you take drugs? I'm like, because I don't do drugs. I never have. I don't really want to participate. You guys have fun, enjoy. And I would have to play it off. I would have to kind of make it a funny situation to not make them feel uncomfortable. The moment I used to take my phone out, if I'm just texting a friend or whatever, they would be looking at me. They would be like, oh, what are you doing on the phone? What are you doing? In a joking way. So there were cameras there. There were CCTV cameras. There were cameras in the bedrooms. There was cameras in the bedrooms, in the hallways, everywhere. The value of it is expensive, right? So they're having these cameras around to secure the property. I'm assuming. He denies all the allegations against him. Yeah. He says he's never sexually assaulted anyone, man or woman, adult or minor. In October, a spokesperson for Sean...
Now, so she explained, and I'm going to say it again, she was explaining, basically, she says that, and she said this in a different interview as well, she said that the setup with the Playboy and the Diddy thing were pretty much the same, except for, one side push you to, really please the people, and then Diddy's side, it was networking, right? So she said that was really the difference between the two. Again, she said one side, push you to please all the guests. Make sure they all happy. You know what I'm saying? And the other side, you know what I mean? You guys already know. She said it was a networking thing. You go in there, what's good. But she also did say in the other interview, and I want to find another interview for you guys, because she said it in the interview. She said that, and she said in an interview, I think with BBC, if I'm not mistaken. She said it in the interview. She said that it went right along the same lines, right? The same lines of, the style of party that they would have. So it was just funny to me how nobody really, went in on Hugh Hefner. You know what I'm saying? But now, I think that now that this came out and that more people are going to see about this situation with this woman, I think that now that it's going to really, you know what I'm saying? I think it's going to magnify a lot going on around Hugh Hefner, man. Or that went on around him, bro. Especially because of these photos and these videos. A lot of people going to ask questions about this now. A lot of y'all that didn't see it, y'all going to see this video and y'all going to go over there to Gloria Allred's channel and see that video that she posted up that only had 725 something views. Probably now it's probably got around 1,000 since people saw me put this video up. But that was crazy to me, man. You know what I'm saying? I think that the people should be exposed that helped Hugh Hefner. You know what I'm saying? If what this woman is saying true about these photos. Especially, you got people that ain't of age and just allegedly in compromising positions, man. That's like right there. Their parents, to me, you know what I'm saying? That y'all let me know what y'all think, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, and subscribe, man. And as parents, you try to like tell your kids to do the right thing, stay out of certain places, stay out of certain. But then when you hear about this stuff, you're like, where all the parents is at? But then again, the parents can only do but so much, man. If you be too strict on your child, they might buck and be rebellious on you. You know what I mean? If you too loose on them, man, they gonna be crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all let me know what y'all feel, man. Like, share, subscribe, man. You know what I mean? Y'all definitely let me know what y'all thinking about this situation. Man, I appreciate all y'all, man. Y'all know what it is. Let me know in the comments how y'all feel, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the podcast. The link will be pinned at the top of the comments, man. And salute to that sister that came in and sent me the $1,000 donation in PayPal. I love you, baby. You already know what it is. I'm gone. And everybody else that support the channel as well, salute.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure y'all click those links below. Subscribe to the podcast show. You can donate support to the channel, Cash App, PayPal, or buy that weight loss formula. All the links are below. Peace.